G'day all, I'm going to be doing depression for my chronic disease. Look, in society, the word depression has two meanings. You got your everyday social context of it, coming from the movies and going, oh, that movie was pretty depressive. But then you've got your illness, depression. It is huge in the world. It is massive. Look, I know sadness can be a difficult emotion to deal with, not only due to the pain it causes, but also the factors that cause the sadness in the first place. Sadness can be a result of loss, helplessness, or disappointment, among many other things. It is important to remember emotion is sometimes that will ultimately help us appreciate our happy times. Sometimes though, it's possible for sadness to deepen, and this may be a sign of suffering from depression. Depression affects how you feel with yourself, makes your life more difficult to manage from day to day. While we all feel sad and moody, low from time to time, some people experience these feelings intense, long periods of time, weeks, months, or even years, and sometimes without any apparent reason at all. I know going through this whole slide, you're probably thinking now, oh, this slide's going to be really depressive. See what I'm saying? Depression is more than just low mood. It is characterized by sadness, loss of interest or pleasure in many things, feelings of guilt, low self-worth, disturbed sleep or appetite, feelings of tiredness and poor concentration. It is a serious condition that affects your physical and mental health. At worst, depression can lead to suicide. Look, 800,000 people die to suicide every year. Types of depression. You've got major depression, bipolar depression, cleptomanic depression, dysmetric depression, seasonal affective disorder. They're all massive. Look, major depression, these include melancholia, used to describe severe depression, psychotic, sometimes people lose touch or even hallucinate, antenatal or postnatal depression. Look, these women increase risk while pregnant or childbirth. Dysmetric disorder is similar to major depression but milder version, yet symptoms last longer. Bipolar disorder is known as maniac disorder, and yes, it is what it sounds like. Experience low moods and then all peaking up high, feeling good, great, but then just hitting rock bottom all over again. Climatic disorder is described as milder form of bipolar, where the person feels fluctuating moods over years. When people experience mental health conditions, they talk about experience being treated positive. Oh, wow, stuff that up. Well, I missed that slide completely. Suicide is the biggest killer of Australians and account for deaths from more young people than car accidents. Around 1 in 4 young people aged 15 and 19 report that they have experienced unfair treatment or discriminations, and the main reasons for this are gender, race, cultural background, discriminations, or social status. Depression is increasing. Yes, it is. Social media is a huge, huge part of that. 1 in 4 young Australians currently have a mental health condition. Young people are most concerned about coping with stress, school, study problems and body image. That's where social media ruins it all. Depression usually refers to recent events or longer term or personal factors, rather than one immediate issue or event. It is important to remember that we all experience depression at some time, and these symptoms change from time to time and not necessarily mean you're depressed. Not everyone who has experienced depression will have all these symptoms. 4 main symptom areas are change of behaviour, cognitive behaviour changes, emotional changes, or physical changes. Behaviour changes include poor attention to personal hygiene and appearance, decreased participation with peers or normally enjoyed activities, self-harm or deteriorated self-care. Self-harm is huge in adolescence these days. Avoidance of family interactions and activities, more withdrawn behaviour including clearly more time spent alone. Emotional changes include feeling of unhappiness, moodiness, irritability, sometimes emptiness and numbness. Yes, the noise in the background is actually my laptop. It's the loudest thing in the world. Feelings of worthlessness and guilt, sadness or hopelessness, losing interest or pleasure in activities that were once enjoyed, tiredness, lack of energy and motivation, feelings of worried or tense feelings. Cognitive changes include difficulty concentrating or making decisions, being self-critical or self-blaming, negative body image or low self-esteem, having dark or gloomy thoughts, including thoughts of death or suicide. Physical changes, loss of appetite and weight, either difficulty sleeping, oversleeping, or staying in bed most of the day. Restlessness or agitation or being slowed down. Unexplained angst or pain. I'm wearing this today because my mate 4 years ago committed suicide due to depression, and he used to play rugby, and this was, you all got it, this was his number, so we're supporting Beyond Blue. And thank you. In Australia, it is estimated that 45% of people will experience a mental health condition in their lifetime. In any 1 year, 1 million Australian adults have depression, over 2 million have anxiety. In any year, 10,000 young Australians live with depression. Postnatal depression affects 14% of new mothers in Australia. The prevalence of disease in Australia's sample group increased 10 years from 2008 from 6.8% to 10.3% of all Australians have mental health condition. Depression will be second only to heart disease as the leading medical cause of death and disability within 20 years. The World Health Organization reports that death from suicide accounts for more fatalities than either armed conflicts globally or people dying in traffic accidents. That is massive. There are approximately 900,000 suicides a year worldwide, and the World Health Organization data shows that suicide is now one of the 3 leading causes of death among people aged 15 to 34. Approximately 2,000 Australians die from suicide each year. Men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women, and they use more violent means generally to end their lives. In 2010, 1.6% of all Australian deaths registered were attributed to suicide, approximately the same proportion as in 2007 and 2008. Males comprised approximately 77% of all Australian deaths in 2010. If you need to talk to someone, please talk to Beyond Blue. You can call them on 1300 22 4636, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can chat with them online, you can email them, or you can do online forums with them. Online forums were great. I read a couple of them, and you just write what you're feeling, and you have many people commenting back at it, saying, oh yeah, I'm here to help, saying, oh, if you're in Sydney, want to catch up, like, they will help you out a lot. Lifeline, if desperate need for help, please ring Lifeline on 13 11 14, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. People experiencing mental health conditions say that when they talk to people, they generally being treated positively rather than being avoided or discriminated against, particularly from friends, loved ones or family members. Suicide is the leading cause of death aged between 15 and 44, leading cause of death, with around 3,000 people dying from suicide every year. That's an average of 8 people every day. For every suicide, there's a tragic ripple between friends, family, colleagues, and the community. Please talk to someone. If someone you know is struggling, reach out to them and connect with them. Showing that you care can make a huge difference in their life. If you are struggling yourself, you might feel better if you reach out for support. Get treatment and start taking steps towards recovery. I think that's about it. Thank you.